The problem of education in this country don't hide. So then ASUU now call a fight for students. As I'm talking to you now, ASUU is complaining bitterly, say school fee too high. Say 40 to 50% of students are going to drop out from school if we continue with this school fee structure that we have. You know that normally ASUU they only they fight for their salary. This time their salary will far. They are fighting for those students. Because these students who are seeing almost every university in Nigeria don't increase school fee. You need like hala, which they protest with them, now they reduce the school fee by 20%. You need just to the stage their own. You need Benekoma. Almost every school have increased school fee. Private universities included. Let me show you the news. Fee hike. 50% of varsity students may drop out in next 2 years, ASUU says, according to Channels Television News. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, is worried over the recent hike in fees by varsities across the country, saying it may force many students out of school. Many public universities have in recent months increased their tuition fees owing to what they described as the country's economic realities. While some of them have made a downward review after protests by students, the national president of ASUU, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, is afraid parents/guardians would find it difficult to pay the new fees. Today, universities are arbitrarily increasing tuition fees, he said on Channels Television Sunday Politics. Is that correct? In an environment today where the minimum wage is 30,000 naira per month, and where they have to pay rent and pay heavily for transportation, and you are enforcing this thing on the students? As a result of this, I can assure you that you can check if nothing is done about this heavy fee being introduced all over the country today. In the next 2 or 3 years, more than 40 to 50% of these students who are in school will drop out. According to him, if such happen, these students will become willing tools in the hand of those who want to make the country ungovernable. This is what we are saying. Create the environment we had in the 60s and 70s, the ASUU chief said. When I was a student, the government were paying me for being a student. Let's have an environment where the children of the poor can have access to education, not closing them. If you pay school fees of 300,000, how can the children of somebody who earns 50,000 a month be able to pay such fees? To remedy the situation, Professor Osodeke asked the federal government to increase its educational budget to at least 15% from last year's 3.8%. Baba, for once, may we use our head to think. If it costs you over 300,000 to send one child to school, university, it costs you over 300,000 to send one child to school per year. Even if your salary is 200,000 per month, which is very high. If your salary is 200,000 per month, it is still impossible for you to raise 300,000. Or nearly impossible, because from that 200,000 where they pay you per month, so you go pay house rent now. Your children go shop. They go wear clothes. You go pay light bill, dustbin money, transportation to work. Not the only one picking you born. No. So how easy is it going to be for you to save 300,000 to send one child to school per year? And not the only one you born. Meanwhile, what is the percentage of people earning 200,000 in Nigeria? A lot of them, when they see now 70,000, 60,000, 50,000, 100,000 with their salary, and you move school fee that high. Sometimes I discuss with our so-called elites. You know what they will tell you? They will say it's not compulsory to go to university. That if you go abroad, then our big men children, they go university. Say the poor men children, when they go university for abroad, then a loan that they collect, no wahala. Where is the loan that we can collect to go to school in Nigeria? Our government tell us recently, say they don't sign student loan to power. If you in this country, you know say that student loan don't touch your hand. Comment for the comment section. We want to know. When we complain, all these Agbado fans, will they be able to say we dey beef them? If you give us a good comment, are we not going to shut up? If you give us a good government, by now shame go they catch us say we not support your government. But your government is failing and you're supporting them. You see, go and check the 2023 budget. You will find out that the budget for security is far higher than the budget for education. Security is about 13.4% of the total budget, which runs to about 3 trillion, about 2.98 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. Education is just 3%. So we're spending more money to secure the country than we're spending to send people to school. Do you know the people who are securing the country from? Those children they refuse to send to school. The problem when these children, when we don't want to send go school now, the problem with they will cause, we are going to spend more money to secure the country tomorrow than it costs to send them to school today. Which normal country spends more money on security than education, and we never notice it with a grace. Meanwhile, that 3.20% is the highest that Buhari government ever allocated for education in the full 8 years. Tinubu government don't come, be like say they go worse. These elites, when they make all these wicked statements and wicked decisions, they went to school for free. Many of them were paid to go to school. Olusegun Obasanjo said before he graduated, 5 jobs were waiting for him. Graduates now. Men one job they wait you, will they wait you? Come. You will face the reward. Graduates are selling with on. The number of people they sell hair for this country, plenty about the number of ladies who get head. And yet you still don't want to send people to school. Then tomorrow you complain of insecurity. You complain of Boko Haram. You complain of herdsmen. And are you cause the problem today? Meanwhile, some of them they support them. We expected that this man will come go give us better policies. Even those of us who don't vote him. We not expecting him go bad like this. But some of them still they support him because the government favor him. Let's tell him the truth so that he can take the right decisions. You don't send students out of school. What they are doing is sending students out of school so we create more agbe. Anyway, they need them. They need to create more agbe because they go deliver the next election. Give them. May we they watch.